Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as I show you my process for collecting the seeds from a bloodroot plant. So let's go. Bloodroot is a wonderful woodland shade-loving plant. It blooms in the late winter to early spring months. It's normally a white-colored flower. You can find it in a single bloom as well as a double bloom. After the blossom goes by, what happens with the leaves is they actually elongate and they look really pretty for a long time. But then what happens shortly thereafter is that the seed pods form and also the green-colored leaves start to lose their color and they become more of a yellow color. That's usually a great indicator that the seeds are ready for harvesting. When it comes to where can you find bloodroot plants, you might have someone that you know that actually has the plants. You can always harvest the seeds from their yard. Bloodroot is also found native in certain areas, and even though you don't want to take the plants from that environment, it's okay to take some of the seeds, collect them for yourself, and then grow the plants in your own location. When it comes to my bloodroot plants, I actually got them from my mother-in-law, and I only had a few plants. Now I have hundreds of plants, partially because I've divided the plants over time, partially because I've scattered the seeds everywhere in my yard. When it comes to collecting the seeds, there's a short period of time you can do that because after that, the seed pods open and the seeds scatter everywhere. So you want to make sure you time it just right. One important thing that I want to share with you is that when you collect the seeds, you want to make sure you plant them immediately. Now you can store them in your refrigerator for a short while, but they are only viable for a short period of time. So for me, I prefer to just collect the seeds and then scatter them immediately underneath the base of the plant. You can also collect the seeds and pot them up. That's another option if you want to go that route. I'm going to take you in for a closer look just to show you what to look for when it comes to the seed pods as well as the seeds. At the base of this orange colored Coreopsis plant are the leaves of the bloodroot. And you can see that they are starting to turn a yellow color. And this tells me it's now time to cut back these leaves because these plants are out in my landscape. So I like to maintain these plants just by cutting the leaves back at this time of year. But if you look at the bottom of the plant, there are some seed pods here. And I wanted to show you what to look for when seed pods have already gone by and have opened up. Notice the color of the seed pod. It's a light green, almost turning yellow. And in this case, you will see that the seed pod has already opened up and the seeds have already come out, which means it's now too late to collect the seeds from the seed pod. Here's an example of a seed pod that has opened up, but notice there are still some seeds in there. And I wanted to show you that white outer coating around the seed. The ants love that outer coating. And oftentimes when the ants find the seeds, they'll take these seeds back to their home and they actually eat the white part of it. They don't care to eat the seed itself and they'll just take the seeds out of their home. And that's why you might find bloodroot seedlings all around your yard. So for me personally, what I like to do is just take the seeds out of the seed pod and I just like to scatter the seeds at the base of the plant. And then I can take the seed pod and just put it in my compost pile. So what you want to do when you are harvesting a seed pod is you want to follow it all the way down to the base and you can just clip it off right there. And as I'm doing that, the seeds are definitely coming out of this seed pod. And there are a few seeds left in here. Here are some more seed pods, and you'll notice there's about 5 here. I did already cut back the leaves. And again, you can follow it all the way down and just cut. And you'll see that this is definitely more of a greenish color. It's not as yellow, and it's closed. It hasn't opened yet. It's almost like a pea pod, and if you were to squeeze it, then you would see the seeds in there. There are a lot of seeds in this seed pod. So again, I'm just going to scatter them. If you wanted to, you could put them in a wet paper towel, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you could plant them in your own landscape. Again, timing is everything. You want to get those seeds before they scatter out in the woodland environment, if that's where you're collecting the seeds, or before they scatter at your family member, friend, neighbor, wherever you're going to be collecting your seeds from. And if I wanted to, I could just rub them into the soil, but I usually don't do that. I just let Mother Nature help me with this process. I really hope you enjoyed this video on how to collect the seeds from a bloodroot plant. Remember, it's very important to sow those seeds immediately after you collect them. because the shelf life or the viability of the seeds is not very long at all. Or you can put them in a wet paper towel and you can store them in your fridge. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave them down in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, I'd love if you considered subscribing to my channel as well as hitting the notification bell. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.